Well, greetings, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to We the People, presented by the Coalition for Community Elevation. And tonight's conversation is not about parties, it's not about personalities, and it's not about headlines. It's about something quieter and far more dangerous. When left unexplained and unexamined, the illusion of representation, we are told that progress looks like presence. That if someone who looks like us enter the room, then the work is done. But communities are not like that. We are the Coalition for Community Elevation. And for that, that means that we have to help uplift our communities. It's not just the illusion that if someone like us enters the room, that everything is all right now. That's not it. If we are representatives, why does nothing change? That's our conversation tonight. Uh, excuse me. Tonight, we're told that progress looks like presence. And that if someone looks like us, gets a seat, that the work is done. But history tells a different story. Representation without power is not empowerment, it's insulation. It protects systems from criticisms by pointing to faces instead of outcomes. And too often we celebrate the arrival without asking the questions. Who controls the budget? Who writes the rules? Who enforces the rules? Because being seen is not the same as being heard. And being heard is not the same as being obeyed. Communities don't fail because representation fails. They fail because power never followed the representation into the room. Tonight it's not about personalities. Excuse me. It's about structure. It's about whether or not symbolism has replaced substance. If representatives can still be silenced and accepted. The progress and the question we have to ask and face is very simple. Are we being represented or are we being managed? Two different things. I see our president is down in the queue. You might get tired of watching us tonight. Let me get back over. Where am I? I know I can see myself. I can't see myself. Where am I?
You're in camera. I can see you just fine.
I'm still. I'm like. There it goes. Okay, there you go. As a lot of people can see now, up in the right hand corner, I changed our logo. Usually, I have the We the People up there, uh, which was presented by the Diamond Factory. Now, all of that information will be moved over uh, to our CCC website, and that will be part of the Diamond Factory. We will have directories on there where You can go to get information, anything from family health to help with the homeless, anything that you may need. We are going to try to put this up on this website. That will give you an overall directory for families as well as individuals. Uh, but tonight, Masada, uh, uh, Demetrius is stuck. God knows where. I forgot to ask you, but he's in the airport. And Derek is at his board's financial meeting for the church. So, as you can see, we all come from very diverse backgrounds. And before we get to the substance of our show, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your visit down to Orlando? Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and we couldn't get the audio going to actually play on YouTube. But why don't you kind of tell people, the acceptance and, different aspects of what happened while you were there?
Hello, everybody. What up, Demetrius and Derek? I know y'all are with us. We are with y'all. We all are one when we do something. So when I went down there, I spoke with all of us in mind and in presence, and it was a good experience. There always are. In the National Head Start conferences, it was the 2025 Parent Family Engagement one that was held in Orlando. So I brought the family with me. My boys got up on stage with me. I got to express and tell who I was and tell what I knew about being a father. And then I got to speak for many other fathers that I've met around. My experience was rooted in my life and my life experiences with real time fathers in real time. And I had my sons there. And they got to meet a lot of people and represent. And then I also got to speak and announce the coalition. And we got nice shirts made and everything. And I got to tell people who we are, what we're about, and ask people if they want to join and if they want to be a part of the mission to change, make real change nowadays. And I won't even just say real change, to make groundbreaking, substantial change that is sustainable for years to come. Because I feel like a lot of organizations that are out there started good and they still do good in and out. So I don't want to say none do good, because they do great things. But I went down there to announce us, and I went down there to speak on fathers, and it's time for real change. So it's bringing real change about. It was a good time down there. I had a good time. Got to take my babies out. Got to take them to Everglades and get them to see life, and got to understand there's a lot of more people like me. And I wish I would have met. I would have your brother from Minnesota on, and I would like the other brothers. This book right here is from another author, obviously, but from another brother who's a young brother author. So when he was saying that we don't read out there and those numbers were lying to him, when I meet other authors and other brothers that do this thing, I'm really proud of us doing that. So it was a really good time.
So, as I was saying earlier, our show tonight is about having a presence but not being represented. And maybe when people say, here's San Diego, they have this conception that everybody that lives out here is well to do, or, there are no people that are struggling in San Francisco, in San Diego.
Yeah.
So, perception. And when you look at, for instance, our city council, we do have people on there that look like us. We have other brown people on there. But
Yeah.
the four most controlled habitats here in San Diego are probably La Jolla, Coronado, Ocean Beach, and to a great extent, the area that I live in. And I say that because these are the higher funded, or no, these are Republican neighborhoods. I just put it like it is. There's no need bullshitting around with it. I mean,
The tiptoeing.
you know,
That
uh,
bush. You stop moving that bush.
yeah, I mean, we had a Trump rally right up the street. So,
Yeah.
so,
No.
so, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, even though we have this face, and because we have this face, we believe that this person should have this much authority, and they should be able to do this, and they should be able to do that. They really have no power because their vote is trodden under by the much more influential peddlers. So you get black or brown representation from a black or brown neighborhood, but your vote is actually only 1/10. It's not 1 to 1. So when you go to these different organizations, do you see some of the same things? Do you feel some of the, because people see you, and they have this perceived perception of who you are, that sometimes they might not get your message.
Um. Yes. No. I feel a lot of people get the message because I feel like a lot of people understand nowadays of where I'm coming from, where we're all coming from, where there's no separation, where they know, um, you know what, we're over here in Orlando, or yo, we just came from South Carolina, or we just came from this. We have affluent neighborhoods, and then we have the same low economic communities, and it's by design. And the representation, when we're talking, even being seen or being heard, I think we're seen sometimes in the wrong light. Even when we're seen, we're not seen in the right presence. So I do think some of those elected people, and some of those people that are seen and are seen like us aren't seen from our perspectives of they didn't live the life we lived to get to where they're at now. And sometimes the ones who did come from it, I kind of feel they change up because now they're more focused on keeping that position or keeping that power instead of actually making change. So I think people do get the message. The way I deliver it, the way it comes out, I think people get it. I just think people are waiting and they need something to back so they can back stand up to it too. Because I think people have been so used to something that they subconsciously become enslaved to it. Not saying that we're all slaves, but if people understand what I'm saying, something goes on for so long that you kind of just let it happen now. Um, when you talk the power, the politicians, all those people still don't have the power. The power is still with the people. The people just need to I guess, flex that power at a certain point in time.
But as we look down through history, when we, meaning people that look like us,
Mm-hmm.
try to flex that power, um, well, Tulsa, Rosewood, where you want me to go with
Yeah, I
this?
get that. But when we flex that power and other people flex with us and we flex in unity, and it's not in a bad flex, it's just really unifying and strengthening together, and we have other affiliates and other allies and everybody who stands up for the common cause, and then you do have the civil rights. You do have things that change. You do have momentum. You do have movement. You do have um new grounds breaking, new, you do have new things. It's just it hasn't been in so long that people forgot what real change and what real merit can do when you really put together with the people, not just us, but with everyone. For us, for the right cause, for injustice, for the acceptance, and for everybody can have equity. Everybody can have health care. Everybody can have education. Once people realize that helping us and us helping each other and allowing everybody to breathe, just letting everybody breathe and being one, it will come. So I do believe we're not seen and we're not represented, but I believe that we are and we can be, and there are more of us, more of me, you, more of Demetrius, more of Derek, more of everybody who wants to make a change, young and old, more of Brother Javon. So I believe it's coming. I have more than belief. I see it's coming. When I'm out there, that's what I see.
One of the things that I have noticed that has been very effective, uh, and we seem to have found our voice again, is not just the power of the ballot, but the power of the dollar.
Always, it's been that.
And when we start spending our dollar in our neighborhood, and I think we talked about this last week when we were talking about the Jewish neighborhood, how it's in
Circulate.
its circulating 7 times within its own neighborhood before it gets out of the neighborhood, whereas our dollar spends 5 minutes in the neighborhood, maybe.
Yeah, not even an hour.
you know, but when our neighborhood is located on the other side of the tracks, Martin Luther King Boulevard, Big, Big Daddy Freeway. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I took a picture down in Miami this past week of Martin Luther King Boulevard. We went to go get some food, and sometimes the food is in the hood that's really good.
but you knew where you had to go, right?
Yeah, and I knew what to expect.
you know, you know, but once again, like there are probably districts that you saw, not the ones that we see on TV,
Yeah, no, not the
but
South Beach one. Yeah,
but that haven't been built up since Miami Vice.
yeah. I was about to say the '80s Hurricanes or something when they had the '90s players. Yeah, yeah, probably not. And have to laugh and joke about it because when you think of the detrimental effects it's been and the psychological effects it's had on us for many of years of why such an affluent place as Miami or San Diego, San Francisco, Chicago, any of these nice places you can name that. When I say nice, name recognized places, even New York, people recognize worldwide. They come from out of town, they come from out overseas, and they don't recognize and realize the poverty that people still are in. over here in America, because when they come over, their chances are better, and then they wonder why, and they're like, you can pull yourselves up, or you can do like we did, and it's like you don't understand the oppression, the systematic, not just the systematic, just the overall everything, the more than systematic, it's embedded, it's deep, it's in religion, it's in everything, there's nothing. It's kind of sad and weird when you watch a show like a Blackish. Some people like it, some people don't. I like it preferably, but when I watch it and it makes fun of things, and they make fun of the main character Dre, and they say he can bring slavery into any subject and topic, and you have to sit and think about that, and it's like, wow, you really can. In any subject and topic in 2025, you can still bring slavery up, and people like that was 400 or 500 years ago, and it was like, but look at the effects it's still now. Look at the effects that are still happening now, because I can talk about something as rich as Miami, something so fucking nice, and then tell you about how shitty of a neighborhood I went in and all I saw in that neighborhood, and I knew what to expect in that neighborhood. But it's all love, because I talk about good food. It had good food. It had good people in it. It had good people in it. It had my hoodlums and my gutter people in it too. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. But it didn't have the quality of life like our neighborhoods, like you talk about your neighborhood close to North Park, or I live close to Bonita, or Otay Ranch, even all the newer neighborhoods they're building up. And then if we do mention the Southeast, or we mention the Chula Vista National City, and they're like nasty city, they got little names for different stuff. But when you actually think about it, Chula Vista and stuff like that, it means beautiful city in Spanish. We can go down to San Ysidro and see it not built up. Or you talk about beaches, you talk about OB, we talk about IB, we're talking about the sewage. But we know if that was Venice Beach right now, that sewage problem that's been going on 3 years wouldn't be going on, what, 3 hours in Venice? Maybe be closed for a day, maybe.
3 years. It's been going on a lot longer than that. But
I was giving it some leniency. I was trying to, I was trying to, I was trying to be fair.
Especially, well, anyway,
Yeah, you can keep going
that's
on
getting
about
me
that.
off topic. But um, and I, I'm going to step on some toes here, because to me, this is the craziest thing that, well, I won't say it's the craziest, because I've seen it done more and more and more, um, especially within certain ethnic neighborhoods. And recently, uh, uh, 47 has decided that now he wants to go after the Somali presence. Uh, and he was specifically talking about the Twin Cities area, uh, because of Ilion Omar, and the great Somali presence up there. And one of the things I used to ask the people of St. Paul and Minneapolis is, how can a people that have been here less than 50 years have more political clout than a community that's been in existence for 400 years? Once again, we have people that look like us but have very little power, but we have other small communities that are able to wrest away the power that we have relinquished for the last 400 years. And we get mad at them. What's, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, we can look at the Somali, right here in San Diego.
Unity and division. We can look at any African culture. We can look at any foreign culture. Honestly, even when we talk about the Jewish community, we can look at any community. outside of the African American community or the black community or whatever y'all want to be called nowadays. I don't really care. I'm not trying to be politically correct on it. I'm just being honest and truthful. Hate me if you wish. This is our problem: division and unity. We can't find one. We find the other one so easy. The crab in the bucket. The want to keep up with the Joneses, or the you think you're better, or you uppity, or I'm right type syndrome, and it'd be like, brother, sister, let's learn, let's help, let's not divide. But it's that straight division of we. I have so many things I can name that divides us, from the color spectrum to um anything, from our hair to the way we talk. We use everything to divide us. Oh, you talk too proper. You know what I mean? You talk too proper. Oh, his hair too straight. That he got that good hair. Oh, he light skinned. You feel me?
Now,
Um,
look, I done went through the Jerry Curl era. You know,
not very cool.
I done went through the process. You know, where- where
The snapback with the hot comb.
I either had sisters or aunts and relatives that were hairdressers. So I always had my hair laid back and dyed, fried, or whatever
Yeah, the
but,
live pride that lay to the
you know
side.
you
Yeah,
know. So
but
I mean,
division. That's
I,
it.
I, I've been through that, and you know, and, you know, I got 7 sisters, and they
Okay.
all black. They all
Yeah,
black.
they
Okay.
all different shades.
Now, I went through that syndrome with the screeching black woman and the deception. I went through all that, and I will be one of the first. See, because the first black woman that I remember was Shirley Chisholm. See, y'all might not go that far back, but she still had that that she had that presence. You understand what I'm saying?
That
She
authority. Yeah.
she was like Julia. You know what I'm saying? She was that successful black woman. You know what I'm saying? But she still, you didn't feel uh, like you could touch her. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. She
Because
jumped on that a little bit.
things weren't as instantaneous as they are now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't that type of technology. So if someone got to that particular rung, then they were on another level. You know, and like you Dr. King, or even, we embraced the Al Sharptons, and,
Yeah.
all of them,
The Gladys Knights and all. I know.
they're
The,
right,
yeah.
now, why do we think that our young people aren't going to follow in our footsteps? And by that I mean, like you said, hey, Gladys Knight, you can go
Because they
on and
shouldn't.
on.
They
You
they
know what I'm
they
saying?
they
But
shouldn't.
now, because their names is Two Chains instead of Prince, or their name is Daddy McNasty, instead of Charlemagne, you
Yeah.
know. But our music has shaped us. Our music, our music it used to convey messages. There was a certain amount of communications. Hey, I, I, I used to lay in the penitentiary sometimes with tears in my eyes. Listening to them old sad,
Yeah. I get you listening to some real
writing
shit.
them song, right?
And so
You
what
know what I'm
happened
saying?
with that is the vision and real shit. They figured out what people slowly figured out. There wasn't too many people that cared, and that generation that you talk about, a Two Chains or a Charlemagne or nothing, they do they do what they can to try to show, but it was what I spoke on earlier. When they do it, people look at them as uppity, or people look at them as this, and they saw that. whatever money was going somewhere. And I'm not speaking for them. I'm just figuring and speaking for myself of what reasons and excuses I give people of why nothing's been working, because they've seen too many times of those old leaders become martyrs and nobody do nothing from it. They didn't see anything happen more from an Al Sharpton or a Jesse Jackson or anybody they looked up to. All they saw was more people getting more money and doing it sideways. Because even we speak like a Magic Johnson, he does a lot of good things. A lot of people you can speak on, even the athletes, a lot of them do a lot of great things and they do a lot of charitable contributions, but it's not sustainable and it's not pumped into the right places, and so people are limited. I know when people sign contracts and a lot of stuff, people are limited. When we talk about corporations, the reason we made this coalition is so we're not limited. We don't want to be limited with helping people. We want to be able to speak these truths. A lot of people can't do that, and they help out in their ways. But a lot of the younger generation of those people are my age or older, a little bit or younger, that have made it and have sustained a certain thing. They see too many people want to be down in the hood. Too many people that I had an old man one time ask me in a barbershop. We talked about something real quick, and I guess I come off as being woke. And he asked me, "Was I woke?" And I said, "No, I'm not woke." He said, "What?" I said, "If I was woke, all my people are asleep. Then I can't be woke. If I'm woke, I should be waking everybody up." Now, and he was like, "Damn, you right." I took that to a young dude. A young dude was like, "Yeah, but what if one of those people you trying to wake up woke up and started a fire and they're pretending to be asleep?" And I was like, "Damn, I get what you mean. Not everybody want to be woke up. Some people still want to be in that low economic status. They still want to floss on it and just for a pun, those 2 chains and not have 2 chains money, but they want to have those 2 chains. You know what I mean? They want to. Some people got stimulus checks. I know some people got some fat ass checks, and I was like, dude, I got a real company. Can I get something here? um, but they got those fat ass checks, and they went flossing and doing videos and spending money on dumbass watches and chains and shit. And then like 3 4 months later, are broke. And I'm like, dude, you ain't putting nothing away. You ain't buy nothing with that. You ain't. And so when we speak about why people haven't did anything or why those people haven't followed in the footsteps of the ones that were martyrs or the ones that tried to do it and got shut out or got Michael Jackson, I like to say, or even got Prince, since you mentioned Prince's name, when they were really trying to do something, they got quieted. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's like the old slave mentality. You take one of the hardest or the biggest males and what they do, buck them and break them in front of everybody. The other ones who wanted to do something now ain't doing nothing. So I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm just saying people have their own reasons why not. And so when you watch us for our Kwanzaa, what we're gonna do, I'll tell people why I decided to be a part of this, because it's for that exact reason that I don't want to mention right now, with why everybody else or why other people aren't following in the great footsteps of making more of a change to help us out, and why aren't we getting together and having did we say the 75 Ohio 75 or something when they had Jim Brown and all the other people? It's hard to do that nowadays when everybody's mindset is I got to take care of myself and my family, and not everybody else, all of us is family.
All skin folk ain't kinfolk. Um, but they kind of. I watched a show the other night, and um, don't get me twisted. Now I'm not, I'm not talking about going out and picking up tomatoes and cotton and all that, but it was about black cowboys, and Pam Grier was on the show. I mean, there was, there was some fine black women on there, but anyway, anyway, uh, they were showing some of the celebrities that have taken back to buying land, and I forget what it might be Rick Ross or one of them. They own like 200 and some acres of this, and Pam Grier and her family got but this was something that 40 acres and a mule, which we'll kick we might as well kick rocks for that. But that used to be how we measured our worth. And I know right here in my neighborhood, there are a couple $1 million houses and whatnot. There's a couple more going up, some big apartment buildings here and there. But none of those landowners look like you and me.
I have a question. When we talk about land, and I own land, I own property, so it's hard to say this, but it's not hard to say this. Just being 100% transparent and honest. Those people, and first of all, you shortchanging. No, don't do San Diego like that. Don't do no, don't do your area like that. Talk about $1 million houses. Those things way more than $1 million. You and I both know that. Don't, don't be bullshitting the people out there. It's in San Diego. Don't bullshit people out there. But on the real, with that, did those people work for that? How did they get that? How did they really acquire land? How do you acquire land that's free to everybody? Who breaks it up and then says who owns this to be able to sell off to this, and who were able to buy that, and who wasn't able to buy that, and who got beat for that or stole from that, or who got it for free? Because I do believe it was something we got to look it up. I want to ask Demetrius that to look up that the number and percentage of people who were told to come out west and they would give them land from NLA to other areas where they got it for free, and they just got it passed down to generational wealth. That's the questions I would start with first, because I know they don't look like us, but that's the reason why they don't look like us, because they got it handed down from years and years in places and times where we can't even
Look,
buy.
look how long the people up in Howard Beach had to wait to get back their land. And right up the coast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, generation after generation after generation, where, now, I mean, I understand, now, yeah, the family, but what about, those people that died in between?
To get them there.
Trying to maintain, I mean, it wasn't like, though, they spent those days in between, like, come on, man.
So I was at MLK right today, MLK Rec. Hi, man. Shout out to MLK Rec. Shout out to Paris Day Sales. They got some good people at both of them. They help the kids. Skyline too out here. They help the kids, right? Neighborhoods are changing and always evolving, but still staying the same. I mentioned that because on the floor it said I have a dream, and I always think about that. I did the speech. Shout out to Head Start. I did that speech when I was young. I was like maybe 4 or 5 years old. I remember it changed me. It molded me. But that's the problem. The dream started being realized, and people realized the right people realized that, hey, if we allow them to live his dream, they'll just still stay in that dream. You have to turn that dream into a reality. It's still dreaming because some of us, still dreaming that we're still going to be judged by the content of our character, not by the color of our skin. But then the color of the skin actually just changed into money. And so now, when I hear different names and hear different people, you move out the neighborhood. You don't build up the neighborhood. We talked about it today. In your neighborhood, we're looking up the buildings going up, and we were in an abandoned house before that is a nice ass restaurant. I won't name the restaurant, but it was a nice little place, right? I looked up 2 stories and all that, just fucking glistening. Why don't we go and buy that type of stuff and turn it in? I get a Tulsa. Tulsa can't happen now. I mean, if it does happen, then you know, I I'm one of those. I'm a spearhead. We talk about jumping feet first and jumping straight in. I'm a ram. I got horns. I like to headbutt shit straight on. So why can't we do that? Why can't we go and find a block and 2 blocks? Because some people are doing that. It's not just Akon. It's not just Slim Thug and them in Houston and Paul Wall and them. And shout out to Rick Ross. Kelly's is doing it. I think she did it in Temecula for a second. And had a little farm up there and all, growing her own stuff. And now they're doing it in Africa. So people are doing it. It's just again the trust thing of trying to trust each other. And most people, I think, what happened is once they gave them money and trying to bring family along, family got lazy and disencouraged on to do it themselves to be involved with it. So it was more like a, I don't even know what movie was on the other day, but they were showing something and it was like dude that made it and his sister was just trying to take his pockets. Like every move he made, she was like, I put you on, you got to give me $200,000. And I'm like, the fuck? And that's how people feel when they get on. And so then they start leaving the neighborhoods and they don't want to come back to the neighborhoods because Uncle Nuck Nuck or Buck or whatever the fuck name you want to use ain't really looking at that person towards like that. They're looking at the money. Everything's about the cash value of how I can get over with now. And I think we need to get back to family roots of seeing each other for more than the cash value and really trying to come together and build on land. But once again, that's trying to fix stupid. That's trying to educate. That's trying to tell the motherfucker don't go and spend your money there. Save it and put away 10%. But they won't do that. But if you tell them to go put that in a collection plate and have the preacher sell him something good, he gonna come with a fucking new Rolls Royce or the hood. It's the Cadillacs, right? It's still Cadillacs or that the 90s.
Hey, yeah, we saved Cadillac way back in the day. Back before even I was born. But anyway,
Now it's Benzes and all that. Y'all get what I'm saying. I don't gotta
yeah,
talk a lot. We know
but
what's happening.
it, yeah, once again, like and I'm I like nice things. Now,
We all do.
and I grew up in the project, so when I had the chance to make money, the first thing I did was buy that car and move. Like, what's that song George Jefferson say? Moving on up.
Yeah.
you you know,
Is it the east side, west side, or north side, or south side?
yeah,
Because in different areas,
yeah,
you can get those crossed.
you, you know, but well, I'm moving on up. I'm moving from the east side, so I'm moving to the west side. But it, my thing is, like I I can't fault people for wanting nice things and for building up generational wealth. But where does wealth and greed separate?
They don't. They don't unless you can maintain because that
We're a
that
coalition. I mean, there has to be some part where,
well there is, but they don't because most people don't. When you say moving on up, some people move, but they don't. How can I phrase this? Because
any way you want. Where am
well,
I?
I'm trying to think of trying to be wholesome because money changes people who I hate to say money changes people because it don't change you. It just it brings out who you really are. And a lot of people, I can say it like this: when we were in Orlando, we went out to eat. Guy from Venezuela, cool ass dude, cool waiter dude. I know he comes from poverty. He see us from San Diego and me down in Orlando with all my family, all of us. It's a lot of us, so we all down there. And he's like, "You must be rich." And I was like, "Nah." And then he looked at me and I was like, "You know what? I am." He was like, "What?" And I pointed at my boys. I pointed at the family. I'm like, "This is life experiences with them." Money wouldn't change a person, me or you, who don't see money as something to fix my soul or broken out being seen, or I'm somebody now. How you mentioned the woman earlier, and you said she had that ah about her. Everybody wants that ah about them, but everybody don't have that ah about them. So the way to do it now is money. You can take a fake Gucci bag and you can take a real Gucci bag. You can tell this dude in the hood the real Gucci bag $5. They will not buy that shit. You tell them the fake Gucci bag, however many dollars you want, that's over two, $300, $400, and they'll buy it. You can look at it and see it, but they won't even think of that. It's just the price. Money has made people not just become sellouts. You have to wake up every day and pay that rent. So since you have to pay that rent, money makes people sell out in ways that they say they won't sell out. So when you say money, wealth, and greed, where do you cross the line? whether you divide it or separate it, you can't. If people can't separate money from richness, money from soul, money has been people have been sold out their souls, and I don't know when that happened. Don't ask me when that happened, but when money makes it any day, people sell out their souls for money, and people say they won't. But I mean, they had the Diddy document on the other day, and the dude was talking about, and the girls talking about, and everybody talking about how evil he is, and how this and that and that. And all I kept hearing him say was, "But he showed me a 60 million. Oh, he showed me 200 million. Oh, he showed me this, or he promised me 30,000." And let's stop making this be who we are and what we worth, and let's say this isn't worth nothing, and then we can separate it. But for right now, wealth equals greed, because when we go back to the original conversations of, are we being represented? No, we're not, because when people are getting in those positions, they are moving out their hood. Their cars are becoming better. They're eating better. Their family's doing better. So now they don't remember or have time for the small person no more, because now they just have time to go get those awards, because we helped out 10,000 families, even though we could have changed and helped out 100,000 families. I want this much more raise this year so I can live a little better, but we're going to go get an award because last year we helped 15,000. This year we're going to up that number to 15,500, and we're going to pacify the people and say we did good as that nonprofit, but I'm going to still live good, and I'm not in the hood no more. So I don't know what these hood problems are. And that's what's happening. So the kids, the older people, everybody's seen people for years not representing them since they made martyrs of our biggest leaders, and nobody saw change. So everybody just sold out. And I do say everybody, because I mean, even the ones that are helping, if we do math and really do numbers, we can change. There's no reason. I say it every show almost. We have the power, we have the intelligence, we have the know-how, we have the skills, we have the technology. If y'all don't want to listen to me, go and check out Lauryn Hill, NBA All-Star. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Just type in and Google Lauryn Hill, NBA All-Star, and listen to her words too. We know what's going on.
But you see, I think we have fallen for what I called in this segment a lot of tokenism. And it's kind of like, I mean, we all know what tokens are. I mean, especially you've been in the city, you throw a token in the subway or the bus, and you ride, and next day you give them another token until you run out of tokens. And the thing, what I'm saying is that even though you're using that token to get from one place to another, it's not real. It represents something else. Even though it looks like this, it still represents something else.
And you can't use it anywhere else. You can't go and use that for a Tesla or Mercedes, any kind of, even a Honda to get your own car with. You got to use it for their times and their transportation and their ways and their routes.
And we become that way in the people that we choose to represent us. How in the world can someone from my generation, and I've been in this same suit for 30 years. Now all of a sudden, you want me to put on another suit. What's wrong with you? This one's lasted me all this time. I don't need to change. Maybe you need to change. But times aren't the same. Is there a place where, like, well, we can go back, I guess, to that book that they give us, separating the wheat from the chaff. Ain't that what they call it?
I don't know that one.
Well, there was a time in the Bible, and even the Indians used to do it. But one way that you separate the good wheat from the
Uh,
straw
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
when you throw it up in the air, and the stuff that's lighter
yeah. Flies away.
flies away, and the good stuff falls back in your bowl.
Yeah, I got you.
So you know, are we still throwing shit up in the wind
Yeah.
and
Nah,
expecting for a change?
no, I don't think so. I don't think so no more. I think that's why people stop. They haven't got an alternative, brother James, to do anything else. So what they saw and what they did was just stop. People still want to do good. People still have that. It's innate. I don't. I choose not to believe it's not innate, and a lot of us, more of us than there isn't. Um, that it's innate that we want to do good. One stat that I wish Brother Demetrius was here for that I learned that during this time now and during the economy now, there are less people giving to charity. There are less animals being adopted. There are less charitable things been happening because people are hurt more. So that tells me when people are doing better, they're giving more. So if those numbers are saying that people do give more, they just need to have a good cause in a right direction to give because I don't think that people don't give, and I don't think that people don't want to follow or give to a good cause. I think they don't have nobody to believe in anymore that can go that way no more because you mentioned we always mention Brother Martin, but you mentioned some women and other people that were influential in your day, even like a Muhammad Ali, Brother Demetrius mentioned last week. They all gone or they all caught something or had something happen to them to where nobody else stepped up. So when people saw that, they just fell back. And a lot of people are in a state where they're falling back. But if they have an alternative, I think that they would stand up. It's just like seeing one person stand up and actually do it. We haven't seen one person, not one, god damn. We haven't seen not one person really stand up and do something and make a big change. And this is no knock to Obama because in the Miami restaurant I went to as well, shout out to them. The best content are Miami, they said. Um, I took a picture of it with my kids and all because he did bring change. But what I'm saying by the change that people want to see, it was the change of like really dying for something. The change of like, motherfucker, this dude getting rid of in the Trump house in the White House right now. This dude is getting rid of. He didn't tore down a part of it and building shit. We wanted to at least see a slap of paint on a black paint on one corner of the West Wing or some shit, you know?
He,
Like
he removed Martin Luther King's bust.
I know that. I didn't want to
He's,
say that, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to say that because I'm talking about what
hold
44
on, hold on.
didn't do.
He did, he even in his first term,
Yeah.
and he removed Obama's portrait. As a matter of fact, I don't
Some
think he
wild
even hung
shit.
it.
So that's why I wanted 44 to do some wild shit like that because this dude got in there and acted what people consider Iggerish. And so what I'm trying to say by that is we haven't had a leader go out to their neck on the line to where it was. It's weird to say because Barack did great things for everybody. He made. I know some older black people who ain't never think they would ever see one of us in there, from black women and black men, and it just made a difference to them in their world. Yeah. So shout out, 100% shout out. Yeah, and you hear me, y'all hear me, 100% shout out for that. But at the same time, all the people I know and the younger people and older people, they wanted to see him get some type of wow. This dude removing pictures and fuck removing pictures. This dude blocked the whole, just broke the whole damn thing up and doing what he wanted to do. So we haven't had nobody radical since a Malcolm X or even a Martin to where we say hit them in their pockets. We haven't had nobody that we put all our trust in and all our love in to lead us in a way that we wanted to represent something that was not just a representation, not just being seen. When I told you there's a couple of different ways of being seen and heard, not just being seen as, oh, he looked black, oh, he got the dap, he shoot basketball, oh man, he cool as fuck. Because thank you once again, Obama, thank you, Barack, thank you. But at the same time, people think Michelle more gangster. Michelle did more gangster shit, you know.
But bro, we, and I'm saying we as a people, had more banks during the Great Depression than we have now.
And that's wild.
Did you hear what I just said?
I did, and I didn't know that, and that kind of is I'm like I have a Javon moment because I'm like, hold on, you're telling me during the Great Depression, you saying us as a people have more banks than now, and now we have more millionaires and billionaires than
how many? How many black banks do you know of? How many?
Honestly, I think one. I want to make sure I'm quoting right. I think Killer Mike and them started one. They have something going on with that. I don't. It's not out here. It's definitely not out here.
And you said you think one.
Yeah, I said think. I don't like misquoting. Listen, you can talk shit about me all day, but I don't like misquoting. I'll tell you real shit all day. If I don't know, I don't know.
Yeah. So as far as you know, we might not even have one. But but when Tulsa was burning, we had at least two.
Yeah.
When Rosewood was burning, we had at least one.
Yeah. It's coming though, man.
Once again, how come people that come here are doing better than the people that have been here?
I got an answer to that, and it could be really short. This goes back to being able to read. I showed y'all one book. Here's another book. This book right here is by another brother. It says Us Before Me, the Thug Bible Movement. It's Love, aka Us Before Me products. I just want you to hear that Us Before Me. Right now, we don't have that Us Before Me mentality. We have that me, I before us. There's no we. That's why I love doing what I'm doing, and I love going out speaking and talking, because I am meeting more brothers, from sophisticated Arthur brothers to hood motherfucking brothers who can't complete a full sentence without saying motherfucker or fuck, and I can relate to them just as I can the doctors and the authors, because we're all on that same level. We're tired of this same rhetoric. We're tired of no change, and so that's why we're here. And once again, it's coming during our Kwanzaa movement that we coming out with. I'm going to speak on why change is here, and why I feel like I'm here, you here, Brother Derek and Brother Demetrius. Us before me. I really like that. We need to learn who me is, and know yourself, and know yourself, and know your self-worth. And once we figure that out, we can know the worth of our brothers, and then we're going to be all together. The coalition is real. The movement is real. Speaking on the past people that did it great, and then the past people that didn't do it so great. Speaking on the people that are lost now, and the people out there that are looking for change. We here. So when y'all hear us talk on this podcast, we're speaking real life, real facts. We're speaking in things that we're not being negative on us and what isn't happening. We're speaking on what hasn't happened and what we're going to do to change that, and what we all can do. Because our win is your win. So us before me mentality is what we have to develop.
Most definitely. And as you said, our Kwanzaa programs will be starting the day after Christmas, going on up until the 1st of January. And there'll be more about that as we go on. But as our president, Brother Masada, why don't you give us your final thoughts, and have a good rest of the night with the family, and good little conversation we had today. I kind of enjoy that. I wanted to set up a Zoom meeting. As a matter of fact, when we get offline, I'm going to send a invitation out to Derek and Demetrius, so we can have a Zoom meeting and get a little more involved.
Oh yeah, before I give out the shout outs and the final words and all, you did get the email though, the
Yes,
establishment and everything. So
yes,
everybody knows that I went down to Orlando to speak. I introduced who we are. I introduced me as the president, but I got my brothers with me. We all are the presidents. We all are leaders. And so I love to say and feel good and proud that the coalition is here for community elevation. And so my final thoughts and closures are us before them. We have to get back to that mentality that we see us, that we are seen, that we are heard, that we are felt, and that we are loved towards each other. Once we get that back, then we can change. We can't fix us. I told my brother this today, brother James. I told him that if we're not elevating us, we can't figure out how to elevate everybody else. So it's nothing but elevation and love around for everybody. Anybody hearing me speak, y'all want to come on the show, y'all want to talk to us, whether you're an entertainer, athlete, a politician, or anybody, let's talk because I'm not. This ain't a us against them no more. This is a us for us. And if you feel like we not representing you and we not us, come let us talk and figure out how we can do this together because we here. Um, I do have a thing that you either in the way or you rolling with us. So rolled over, stepped on, moved out the way, pushed over, however we got to do it. But I would love to do everything with love. I would love to do everything with grace. Um, but we're about to see what's going to happen in 2.5 years, everybody. In 2.5 years, we shouldn't wait that long to try to figure it out because if you already stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So the coalition is here. We're here. Y'all are here. We need y'all. Y'all need us. We need everybody. Let's be and lead in love and go in love and peace. So everybody, y'all have a good night. We're ready for the next week. And just think everything that people say isn't out to harm you or attack you. When people are talking, you can learn from a baby, but you can also learn from an elder. You can learn from a person your same age. We can learn from each other is the point I'm making. So let's have conversations. Let's apply those conversations to real life and let's bring forth change. New leaders are emerging, y'all. We have them all day, every day. Let's support the real ones and let's get tired. Let's put that fake shit to the side and let's be who we are.
yeah. And the one thing that I would really like to add to that is like we can't stay divided. Um, you know, we can't wait 2.5 years. We have to start tomorrow
Now,
because because they
already
and
been rolling.
and if you don't want to believe me, there's a nice little book out called Project 2025. So as a matter of fact, you don't even have to read it because there's a thing called Audible that'll read it to you. So enlighten yourself. That's all we ask. Enlighten yourself. And if you want to come in and talk on our platform, if you have a different idea, that's fine. But let's discuss it. And we don't have to be the N word this, the N word that. Let's discuss it like gentlemen. I think, like they say we come from kings and queens. Let's act like it with each other. With that, I say good night, y'all.